your body were like heaven, we were taking it slow. Hi, welcome back to another One Chart lesson. Today we're doing, by a special request, Shawn Mendes' latest song, Summer of Love. We're doing the acoustic version. It's going to be a fast and simple lesson, hopefully, although this guitar part is very interesting. The first thing we've got to do is get into a different tuning, because Shawn is playing this in a strange tuning. It's E, A, D, then A, C sharp, E. So basically we're changing the G string up to A, we're moving it up a step to A, and the B string we're moving it up a whole step to C sharp. So we've got E, A, D, A, C sharp, E. If you're doing that with a tuner, then you probably want to make sure that your tuner is set on the chromatic setting, because if it's set on a normal guitar tuner setting, if it's, there's, you know how you press the button and it scrolls through and it says guitar, violin, ukulele, whatever. If you've got one of those tuners, try and put it on chromatic. If not, do the best that you can. You can always tune those strings off your other strings. So you can tune your G string to match your A string, and you can find a C sharp on your A string 4th fret and try and tune that B string up to that note. Best and easiest option is to have a guitar tuner and tune those two strings up a whole step. Once you do that, put a capo on the 2nd fret. I know, complicated, right? But it's a very interesting sounding guitar part, and what he comes up with these shapes is really nice and interesting. So once you're in tune and you've got E, A, D, A, C sharp, E for your tuning, going from low to high, you put a capo on the 2nd fret, and the 4 chords that we play, even though they're in strange voicings now because of our tuning, the 4 chords we use are A, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, and E major. And that doesn't change throughout the whole song. It's just those 4 chords over and over and over again. What we do is we play them in 3 slightly different ways. So I'm going to take you through those 3 sections, and once you can do those chords the 3 different ways, you've got the song. So the first one is obviously the intro, and what he's doing is he's just picking a bass note with the top 2 strings out of a few different chord voicings. Now I've put all these voicings on your chart in both tab and as a little diagram, and the actual notation part is more for the rhythmic aspect of the strumming, which I'm going to go through in a minute as well. But for this little intro sequence, you're playing the 7th fret. Now remember, this is 7 up from the capo. 7th fret on your D string with 8 on your B and 9 on your E. So it sounds like that. Kisses on your body were like... Then we move to the next chord, which is down here, 4th fret D string. Same picking pattern with your picking hand. 4th fret D string, 5th fret B, 5th fret E. So you've got that chord voicing for an F sharp minor. We were taking it slow. When you go to the C sharp minor, what we're doing is playing the 4th fret now on the A string, 3rd fret on the B string, and open E string. And finally, to get to the E, you come up to the 7th fret A string, 7th fret B string, and open E string. Right? And you go through that sequence 4 times. So it's like, it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the kisses on your body were like heaven, we were taking it slow. Right? 4 times through that sequence. Then we move on to the next little section, which is the first time he kind of hits the chorus. Now we're moving these chords into slightly different voicings. So we're adding a note on the G string now, and we've got 7 on the D, 7 on the G, 8 on the B, and 9 on the E. So it's almost the same as the shape we used at the intro, but we're adding that note on the G string. And the easiest way I think to do that is to put your first finger across the 7th fret. So you're fretting those first 2 notes, and then second and third fingers on the B and E strings. And I'll get to the rhythm for this in a moment, but then after we do that, then we move to this. Now for the F sharp minor, instead of going down to this one, we're actually going to go over to the note on the A string, 9th fret, and play the 8th fret on the B string. So you'll see on your little on your chart there, what we've got is 9 on the A. We're muting that D string with the underside of our finger there. Open G string, 8th fret B string, and open E string. Then we take that down, so our root note is on the 4th fret, or our lowest note is on the 4th fret of the A string. And we're doing the same thing. And you're muting that D string still. So 4th fret, muted string, open G, 3rd fret B, open E. And then the last one, you come up to, you change fingers and you come up to the 7th fret A string. And this time, when you play this chord, because it's an E, you can include your open E string. So again, you've got open E, 7th fret A, muted D, open G, sorry, not open G, 7th fret G, 7th fret B, open E. 0, 7, muted, 7, 7, 0. Hope that makes sense? Now for the strumming for this little section, you're doing dun, 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 dun. Right, and that last one is the first strum of the next bar. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and the last two are semiquaver strums, 16th note strums. 1, 2, and 3. Like that. Now you don't have to do that strum. You can do whatever strum you want if it sounds good. Remember, it is good, but that's what he's doing mostly. And with these strumming patterns, he's not doing exactly the same pattern in exactly the same bar every single time. He'll change it a little bit, but that's basically the dominant pattern that he's playing throughout each of these sections. So, that one. Then you go down to again. So the best fingerings to use for these chords, like I said with the A chord, you first finger across the 7th fret and 8 and 9 on your 2nd and 3rd fingers. But then from there, when you go across to this next chord, the F sharp minor, move your 2nd finger across to the A string 9th fret, and your first finger can take the B string 8th fret. That's kind of the easiest way to get from that chord to that chord, because that's a tricky one. Then you can take that shape and just slide it down until your A string note is on the 4th fret. And then when you come up, you can keep that 2nd finger on that A string and play your E like that. That's the second section. So the third section is those same 4 chords played through twice, but the first time through you do a simple 1 strum per bar. The second time the strum starts to build up a little bit. And again, you can be loose with this, you know, you don't have to do it exactly the same way that he does every bar, but he basically builds it up. The second time through, he starts going. And when he gets to the E, it was the summer of love, and builds that up, stops it, holds that E for a bar but stops, and then we're into another chorus. But it's this. Hear that little riff that goes throughout this chorus. Now we're needing to change our fingering so we can do that little riff with that note. Now what you're going to do, again, with your 2nd finger on the A string, get it up to the 12th fret, and you're muting the E and the D strings on either side of it. You can include the G string and the E string open during this riff. It doesn't matter whether you do or don't, as long as you get this 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, right, on the B string. But it sounds nice if you can include the open G and open E. Just try not to include the low E or the open D, because that will make the thing sound very messy. Change fingers, put your first finger on the 9th fret A string, use your pinky now on the 12th fret B string, do the same thing with your muting. Then from there you go down to your... Now I'm adding my pinky on the D string 4th fret just to kind of fill this chord out a little bit. And you do that with your B string note. You go 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, O will open, right? And then up to the E, and the same thing, lifting the B string to open on the very last beat. And here you can include that E string again. It was a summer of love. That's going to take a little while to get a hold of with all that muting to get it sounding nice and clean. You want that little riff on the B string to sound quite clear and dominant, and as long as you spell out the bass note on each of those positions, it's going to sound good. But it'll take a while, so be patient with yourself and get that sounding as clean as possible. Slow and steady wins the race. Now the rhythm on this last one, down, 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 you're going to pretty much follow that sort of pattern, right? So you're going down, up, 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 down, down, down. Now I've mapped that rhythm out pretty accurately there in the notation section of that last section on your chart. Down, up, and the reason why you get those 3 ups in a row is because that first downbeat has gone for 3/4 of a beat, if you like. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 heard that note on the D string 4th fret for that that C sharp minor chord. I don't really know if it needs to be in there. If you find that position easier than just keeping your second finger on the A string like that, I've done it both ways in this video. That's a fine thing to do as well, but if you do that, mute the D string. Alright, so like this. Summer of Love. It's a really great song considering it is 4 chords only, but he's done some really nice things with the voicings and using the open tuning, which is not a standard open tuning. It's a bit weird. If you are uncomfortable tuning your strings up a whole step, the G and the B, you can either change to a lighter gauge string to make that easier, or you can tune everything down and leave those strings the same. Tune everything else down a whole step and leave those G and B strings the same. So you can take your E down to D, your A down to G, your D down to C, leave your B, leave your G strings and your B strings alone, and take your top E down to D. So you've got D, G, C, G, B, D. and that will sound nice. It won't be in the same key as Shawn Mendes. If you do that, you will have to put your capo on the 4th fret, if that makes sense, because you're dropping everything down a whole step, so you've got to put your capo up a whole step to stay in the same key. I hope that's not too confusing. I hope that's been useful for you. Thank you for requesting this song, Alex, and shout out to you. And we hope to see you here again soon. Thanks for watching.